everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. You got your boy Xage here, of course, joined by a face everybody knows and loves, but playing a different character today. We don't have Shawoop. We have Shawn Tran in the building.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. A little one-on-one engagement, me and the boy.
It's been like 2 years.
Yeah, for real. Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think we definitely leveled up in every sense of the word.
100%, bro. I figured like when I first started the podcast, it was a means of like me socializing and getting to meet people, and then it evolved into like a way for people to showcase themselves.
Right.
And so I was glad that you and even Sarah were like, why don't we wait until I'm doing more, you know? Which I think is fair because you do. Oh, that's Kitty's feeder. I like when the crowd hears that because then they think we're rich.
Yeah. It's the money counter.
But yeah, man, you do so much. I mean, I don't even want to try and encapsulate it all into one, but you have your own coffee shop, which is a brand and a business. You make your own music. You produce music for other people. You are your own brand as a producer, artist, you know, everything else. And at the same time, a student. So
Humble student.
a humble, you know, straight A 4.0 kid.
Straight up.
So give the people like a backstory. Tell me, I know you're from the Bay Area, you represent. Give me like a little bit of rundown on what your life was like in the Bay, and maybe tell me like how music became like something of interest to you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm from San Jose, California, so that's the Bay. I lived in Sunnyvale/Cupertino for most of my life, though, and that's like the heart of Silicon Valley. That's where fucking Steve Jobs went to high school.
Lex.
Yeah, so there's a big emphasis on like software engineering, like amongst my classmates and like in high school and shit. But yeah, I guess music started becoming a thing for me. Well, first when I joined marching band and I joined the percussion section, so I was playing like vibraphone and marimba. Then I also was playing in like a worship band at my church when I was like in high school, and I was just playing drum set. And so I was kind of doing both those things at the same time, like sophomore and junior year of high school. And yeah, I was a big ass band nerd, so I was like, yeah, we were just shedding, just like playing, because like our marching band was like pretty high level, it was like world class. Not to flex, but it was. And we did this thing called Winter Percussion 2, which is like just the drum line plus the front ensemble, and we do like indoor shows, and we were like competing like all over the country and shit. So that was really fun.
I remember in middle school, Wyatt and I played the alto saxophone, so we were in the saxophone section with people like E. Hutch and Abby Ackrong, to drop some names from Delaware. And I remember the drum line, the drum section, whatever it was, because our middle school and high schools weren't like as large. It was always like people who I thought were so cool because they were like rhythmically advanced and like they were drummers, you know? And then like the dweebiest of dweebs. I felt like there was no in the middle of the drum section. Do you agree?
I think it's funny because in my school, there's definitely like a hierarchy of people. Like obviously like the drum line was like a higher tier than the front ensemble. But then like I think as the years went on, and I became section leader too, I kind of changed the culture a little bit. Because it was crazy, like when I was a senior, there was like 12 freshmen and there's only like 3 seniors. So like me and the section leader had to like teach all these kids like how to fucking play, you know, how to do everything. But yeah, I see yeah, that's definitely a pretty big thing. Just like the drum line being the cool kids of the band. Like, I don't know, band kids are band kids, but there's like the drum line, like they're obviously very different.
That's like the distinction I'm trying to make. And I didn't mean to call out all the dweebs in the drum section, my bad. I honestly meant weebs. Like they were like always like really into anime, and I imagine like running around like Naruto. Like that's really what I meant for real.
You know what's really funny is that there were a couple weebs in my section too. One of like the biggest dudes I looked up to, he was this Japanese guy named Shota, and he was a fucking god at marimba. He would like play every single day, like practice every single day, like for hours until like 7 p.m. Like from like 3 to 7, just like fucking shedding for 4 hours. And sometimes I would just watch him play because he would just like, I don't know, he and the instrument were one, and he really inspired me to like not only be the best at playing marimba, but also just like, you know, love music because he loved music so much.
So tell me about that. When did you have when did the playing drums turn into like a love for like creating music and like maybe impacting emotions? I know you and I have talked off air like a million times about how crazy we think music is in the way that it like controls feelings in the room. Is that something you became aware of?
I think so. I think as I started learning more like solo pieces as opposed to just like strictly like band music, because there's definitely like a split, right? For like band music, you just have to play the notes on the page and like you have to play them at the same time as like the people next to you, because like that's how playing clean works. You know, you sound like one person. But then for like solo pieces, you get to express yourself more. And so when I was a junior, I learned like there's this one composer I love. His name's Ivan Trevino, and he had like I played two pieces by him in high school that were just like really formative to like my understanding of music. It's like one was called "Strive to Be Happy," and it was just like, yeah, it's like pretty much exactly what I meant. It just like it makes you feel, I don't know, like hopeful and like graceful kind of shit. And then there's also one called I'm forgetting the vibraphone piece, but basically, yeah, I think after I learned those pieces, I started to understand like what music could do, or like how could I express myself through music as opposed to just like playing shit. And then I really didn't start making music till like after I graduated, and it was because I broke up with my long term girlfriend at the time. I was like fucking depressed,
Yeah.
and I picked up GarageBand. Like I had messed with GarageBand before, but then I just started making beats in GarageBand,
Yeah.
and it was just like all my keyboard. And I guess yeah, that's kind of how everything started taking off in terms of like making music.
Bro, that always how it like that's
Yeah.
always how it is.
Like
always.
some big emotional thing. And then you start
Yes.
making-
And then you're
yeah.
like, I gotta let people know about this. I
Yeah.
gotta feel these emotions, bro.
Yeah,
Totally,
really.
bro. I remember like smoking weed and writing really sad shit about my ex on my
Yeah.
phone. Yeah, it's the worst
Yeah, if
feeling
you see
ever.
like I archive most of my old SoundCloud shit, but like I would post like hella angsty like titles and stuff. And I don't know. I think it's just a very formative thing for like any producer to just like, you know, feel all those feelings like in those beats before you can like
100%.
move on.
Get organic. And also
Yeah.
it's good to become comfortable with your own creative process so that when you start working with others, you like kind of have a feel for like what you're
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to say and
Yeah,
how you're
well,
trying to get things
That's a whole
done.
other beast, like working with other people.
Dude, totally. And I want to ask you about it because I can honestly say I don't think I know anybody like as a friend that works so much with other people making music. Like you are constantly like, oh, yo, let me bring this person over. I want to record a studio session with them. Or like, oh, yo, guys, I booked this studio in downtown. Like, why don't you pull through? That you are always like bringing different people together and making really good music. I'm not trying to suck on you, but really good music.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me like how that all started. I know you even mentioned to me before you had like a clique of people back home that you were like constantly grinding with. How did that all start?
Yeah. How did it start? So like in high school, in my senior year, I used to jam with like a bunch of these like skater kids, and we would like smoke weed and just like fucking jam in this garage. And it was like three of my really best, like really good friends in high school. One was a piano player, one was a bass player. And then one, like the guy's house we were at, he played bass and then also like sang or like made music. So we would like jam pretty much like every day, like this one summer. And then that's kind of like how I started like making stuff with other people. And then when I started going to community college, I met okay, let me backtrack a little bit. So there's like a culture in the Bay Area of just like kids going to parking lots to smoke weed as opposed to like being at the house, because like we couldn't, like everyone had, you know, Asian parents or like just like
Yeah.
parents who were hard on that shit. So we like go to parking lots, right? And like in those parking lots, I would meet like the dopest people. And then I met one of my mutual friends. Her name's Tiff, and she used to hang out with like the other skater kids or whatever. But then she also sang, and then she introduced me to one of her friends, and his name's Raven, and he was an engineer at the time, and he like rapped too. And then we all like pretty much hit it off, and we all started like recording at Raven's studio, or like his house that was also a studio, like every night. And that's when we started like writing songs together. It worked really perfectly because like I would make the beats, Tiff would sing, and then Raven would like write songs for her, and then also like engineer. And then we like spent like so much time together for like a year straight. And at that point, I'd also moved out of my house, so I had a lot more time to just like do shit. But I think, yeah, a big part of like the reason I like work with so many people is because I don't know, I was like used to that culture, just like meeting people, like making shit on the fly, and then like, you know, like reworking it until it was something that we could actually put out.
Bro, that organic sound. Like you guys were literally just like throwing things together, but making like fully complex. That's what's cool. And this is why I was trying to think of like why I feel so passionate about saying that your music is good. You guys aren't just making like people rapping over a beat, which is like very typical, and I'm not dissing on that, but like you guys would get together and make like full compositions. Like there would be like, God forbid, like key changes, tempo changes, like you guys were making full length songs.
Yeah.
And I think that is really cool to see. And I'm sure it benefited you in your relationships at USC. Did you continue to like meet people at USC and like keep prospering?
I think it's weird because when I was back home, like I was just really blessed to be around so many like amazing musicians, like not just like artists who could rap on shit, but like yeah, actual musicians that could like we could all I don't know, like collaborate on like how the song should sound. And when I came here, like I thought I would meet a lot more musicians like that, but it was actually like a much harder than I expected. And I think like my first year kind of squandered like a lot of chances to like make music like that. Cause I was like, first I was just kind of like starstruck by everybody. I was like, whoa, like there's these people that like are like way more high level than me. Like how am I gonna, pitch myself to, like work with and stuff. So I think I kind of like stopped making as much music with people as I wanted. Then I started focusing on like, my own sound, like making my own kind of like edits, like remixes, like that kind of shit. But I think now, like after like 2 years, I'm starting to make music again, and like the vibe is really good. Like the sessions I had with like Clarence the Kid and like Bob and Kabwas or whatever, like I miss that feeling of just like making really good stuff in general.
Dude, totally.
Yeah.
And it actually is interesting because like I'm sure this like music that you're making with them is way different than the music you were making before. I feel like your sound is constantly evolving.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't want to limit myself to like one sound, and maybe that's just me being like indecisive, I guess. But yeah, I think music, like the music that comes out of like sessions that you actually vibe with the people, and yeah, I think like sessions that are really like productive are ones where really you catch a vibe and like you guys are all, I don't know, just feeling each other. Sorry, I don't know, that sounds kind of weird, but when you guys are all just like feeling each other's vibe, and like you can make some actual like dope authentic shit as opposed to just like, yo, like come rap on these like 1,000 beats I have, or
Exactly.
like look through beats.
Like you guys were there with a purpose and you had like a goal set up. It wasn't just like how many can we pump out and which one sounds the best.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
totally different kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You mentioned this concept of having like strict Asian parents back home. I know that's like an important part of your identity. I don't have like a very specific question, but tell me like how your relationship with your family changed after you moved out, because you said you started to have like more free time and you started to get a little more creative.
I mean, it's weird because there's not a lot of emphasis on creativity when it comes to like Asian parents, because they really want their kids to be like successful, right? And like they really value education. And so when you start bringing up like conversations about like art, or like, I want to be an artist, I want to be like a writer, because like both my siblings, my sisters, they wanted to be writers and stuff, and then my parents really like cracked down on them. So like for me, I think my mom really knew I wanted to do music, but she like really pushed me to just, get good grades so that I could go to a school, like a good school, so that I could, get a good job, the fucking American dream shit. And I also think that with like immigrant parents especially, like they came here for the sole purpose of like finding stability. And so when they see their kids like doing something that might not be stable for them in the future, they get pretty like anxious, like on behalf of their kids. And that's something I didn't really understand until after I moved out and stuff. But definitely the dynamic between me and my mom especially changed, because she recognized me as someone that could actually be independent, but could also do the things I wanted to do, as opposed to just like her controlling me, I guess. Because my sister really felt that.
Or having to worry about you, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Because she saw I could handle my own shit. So
dude, precisely. And you have done a very good job. I'm sure like they're pretty proud of all the things you're doing.
she fucking better be.
Dude, you were on Jimmy Fallon. That's fucking legit. Yeah, quick blurb for anybody who doesn't know, Shawn played drums on Jimmy Fallon. Or we're in the drum line on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, we play with the Flatbush Zombies. No
yeah,
biggie.
Flatbush. Shout out the boys.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Dude, let's do acid and fucking rap on stage.
You know what's super funny? I think I told you this before, but I like ran into Michi Darko in downtown, like probably a couple months after we did that gig, and then he fucking like knew who I was. Like he recognized me.
That's
I recognized
crazy.
him, and I have his number in my phone. He's like, "Yo, like here's my number. Like hit me up if you ever want to make real music." I'm like, "Yeah, for sure, bro." But like I never really capitalized on that, because like how the fuck do I just text Michi Darko like, "Yo, it's Shawn, like let's link up."
Let's link up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that.
No, I don't know either. That's a cool like encounter to have though, and it's incredible that he remembered you, bro. I feel like most celebrities of that, like even though he's not super famous caliber, they kind of just be like, not remembering faces.
Yeah, they were super dope.
Shout out the
Fucking
boys.
amazing people.
I also know something you were very passionate about in high school was memes. And I know it's not something we talk a lot about because I'm not personally into memes. But what was really cool about that part of your life was you started like a whole brand at that point, right?
I didn't start it, but I was a part of like that publication. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, Meme Insider. It's like the internet's most popular online trends magazine. I haven't really done shit for them
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
but yeah, back in high school, like first year of college, I was fucking on all the meme stuff.
But I think it's relevant because you were like sort of building out a brand, sort of, and you were also like working on PR, weren't you, promoting it and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Do you
we were.
think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I mean, I was just like writing articles. I think what's cool, like what that taught me was just how to like study trends. And I think that's especially relevant in the music industry. Obviously, it's like you can just spot like what's hot, what's not, especially when it comes to like the online space. And I guess it's a little bit cringe to talk about now as like a 22-year-old man.
It is not. It is not that cringe.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cringe because what used to be like made fun of, like memes or whatever, is now like
The industry.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
Yeah.
culture. It's like everybody knows what my
Yeah.
grandma knows what a meme is. You know what I mean? And you were on the wave before people were talking, like when it was mocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool. But I brought it up because I think it was exactly like you're saying. Like you were, bro. Like I think about this a lot actually. When Wyatt and I showed up here, we were literally like two kids from Delaware, like for real. And at the time, I thought like, oh, like it's not a big deal. Like we just move out. And even going through like living in LA, I was just like, oh, we're just like the rest of these kids. But it actually is like totally culturally different. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like totally. Like you guys know so much more about like what's hip, what the kids are doing these days. Like,
Yeah.
but for real. And also like the music scene and stuff like that. Like I was never so involved. And then, yeah, like when I showed up, like you and Lewis were able to like, Lewis would literally be like, oh, this person's about to blow up. And then next month they were like international superstar.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you guys have this skill? And you the same way with a lot of like cultural elements about like what's funny, I think, what's hot, the coffee shop, stuff like that, which we'll obviously get into. Do you think that experience marketing that meme and getting like familiar with the kids of today benefited you in like selling artists? Because I know PR and management is something you dabble in.
Yeah, I definitely think so, especially when it comes to like aesthetics, because like aesthetics, there's definitely like trends in aesthetics now, especially. Like I think the music, like the way artists presented themselves like back in like 2016 is so different from now, especially for like, I don't know, like the different pockets of the industry. Like I think what's popular right now is like the whole like indie pop shit, right? Like the bedroom pop shit. And maybe that was like also pretty hot like a couple of years ago, but now it's just like the main sound for people. But yeah, I think definitely studying those meme trends like helps now. I don't know, like back then I would just used to curate that shit because I thought it was funny. And I think it's important for like, I don't know, to know what's funny so that, you're not left behind. And it's weird because like nowadays, like social media managers are just people that corporate people hire to like make memes for them, like the fucking Wendy's account.
Exactly.
And like there's like also all like pods of like like meme influencers on Twitter and stuff that like get paid to like just tweet funny shit like all day.
They're promoters now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they've turned into promoters. It's so crazy, the evolution of that like industry. Like you said, it's become an entire industry.
I mean, just keep going off of that. I think like
please.
Instagram meme pages are also like a source of promotion for like rap, for like the hip hop scene too. Because I remember when I was working at Human Resources last year, we had this like proposal to like market what like one of the artists. Like one of the things on that marketing proposal was like paying these like these 4 big meme pages on Instagram to like put out something about whatever. And I follow like a couple more. Like I followed those kind of accounts like years ago too, and it's crazy to see how they're making money from like these kind of promotions already.
Absolutely.
It's also because like random SoundCloud rappers will like pay these pages too for promotion.
Dude, the whole industry is so weird right now. Like, how do you feel about the state of the music industry right now? I mean, obviously we're all pretty fresh to it, but I feel like it is so ever changing and hard to catch up with, personally.
Yeah, I think it's weird because I feel like now I'm a little bit behind because I haven't been doing as much like A&R research as I was like 2 years ago. But I think it's pretty weird. But I think what will always like good music will always prevail like over everything, right? But yeah, with like there's definitely bubbles that I see, especially with like TikTok and like I don't know. There's like people will have like moments, like for example, like fucking Mario Judah. Like no one's talking about him now because he blew his chance, like doing the whole like.
Forgot about him.
Exactly.
Yeah, forgot
So
about
there's
him.
like these artists that just have like single moments, but that just go away, and like how it's weird to see like what artists last and what artists don't, and like today's day and age.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think you could correlate anything in common about them all. Like, I do think what sets them apart is that like they did something different. Like
Yeah.
Mario Tudor came in with the medieval flow, you know, and that like made him hot for a minute.
Yeah.
So funny. So obviously you're a very expressive, artistic person. At what point did you start getting into like tattoos? I know tattoos are something that are kind of important to you now.
I mean, I only have one. I only have 2 tattoos on me.
Yeah, but you love them, right?
I do love them.
Yeah.
I did my first one myself. I don't know. I think after meeting Nicole, or it wasn't even Nicole. It was like my friend Natalie. I don't know if you met her, Natalie.
Natalie Lee, right?
Like she has a bunch. Yeah, she had a bunch of like crazy ass, because she was in the drum line too, and she had a bunch of like crazy ass tattoos on her arms and stuff. And I thought that was super dope. And I do want to get more tattoos as well. But then like for a year, I was like debating like, oh, like what should I get, blah blah blah. And then I actually booked an appointment with her for her like at Sarah's, because she got one at Sarah too. And that's when I did one myself. And that was like, I didn't even know when that was. That was like last year. I mean, this whole past year was fucking hazy, but
So true.
yeah. But that was super dope. And it's crazy to see like how far Nicole's has come too.
Oh my God, it's insane. Every time I see your Instagram page, I'm like, should I hit her up for another one? Like every single time I see one.
Like 2 months out now. Like 2 months
Dude,
out.
at least. I saw she's shadowing at an actual like spot now, which is crazy, an actual tattoo parlor. I was gonna ask you about lo-fi music.
Oh yeah.
Because you love lo-fi music. And I didn't even start knowing lo-fi music was a thing until I got into college. Like when I was in college, I was making music in Logic for the first time, and my boy Giancarlo, he was like listening to music in his room, and I was like, what even is that? Like these melodies are cool. I've never heard these drums before. He's like, oh, it's lo-fi.
Yeah.
And then when I got out here, you like made lo-fi all the time. Do you still make lo-fi?
I think kind of. I think the last song I put out is like semi lo-fi, semi like future beatsy. But yeah, I think it's weird because I think I got into hip hop music because of lo-fi hip hop.
Really?
Like I started listening to like these because like jazz hip hop edits, and then it's mostly because like my friends too, like back in high school, they just love, they were big ass jazz cats. Like call them jazz cats because like that's what they call themselves too. But yeah, they just love jazz music, and that's why I got into like Kendrick Lamar because of like, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly, very jazz influenced. I started listening to like just a bunch of those fucking like the lo-fi 24/7 radio stuff.
Exactly. And why not? I was commenting to him about lo-fi because what I think like sets lo-fi apart is those off-tempo drum patterns. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the fucking J Dilla type.
Yeah, exactly. Is that something that you're like attracted to, and that might be part of like why you like it?
I think so, because the stuff that me and my friends would jam on would always be kind of like funky / like R&B, and like I would always like love to play those like Dilla type like drum feels, because I don't know, I just love like pocket grooves like that kind of shit. I'm like, that's why I think now, like I don't consider myself a rap fan, like a true rap fan, because like I didn't listen to like all the, you know, like old heads and stuff like that, but I just love music that makes your head bop. That just you feel like some kind of groove out of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And that's why you can get down to like ragers and sad songs. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I feel like we resonate with like the bop.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the same way. Like I think
Spirit of the jam, bro.
exactly the spirit of the jam, bro. Something I'm like woefully missing every day right now. There's like no jamming going on. Oh, speaking of, throwing shows is something you dabble in as well.
Yeah.
What has your experience like been throwing shows?
So back when I was in my first year of community college, I started working at this show booking company called Nurix in San Jose, and it was like the biggest independent show promoter in the Bay. And I would just like be fucking calling just like hella rappers in the area, and like we would have like this big ass like lead sheet, and like I would just have a script and I would just like call. But as I got more comfortable, I didn't have to use the script as often, but it was pretty cool. Just like, I don't know, just like I'm just an Asian kid, you know, and I was just talking to like all these fucking like Bay Area like people who were actually about that kind of life, you know.
Ronnie Quest was talking to us today about Lil Bro.
Little bro,
Me neither. But basically he was saying that YG has a younger brother called Lil Bro, and that's his actual rap name. And so like all these dudes be calling him Lil Bro, and he think it's like hard or whatever.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious. He did a way better story about it than me.
Yeah.
But nah, I just asked because obviously I have like I could go all day about like live concerts, but I wanted you to recant. Do you remember that really bizarre TikTok concert we went to?
Yeah, that was so weird.
Bro, that was a
so
weird cultural experience. What do you remember from that night?
I just remember there was fucking ads during the show.
Yeah, actual commercials on screen. It was so weird. And And they were trying to shove Amazon Prime down our throats.
Yeah, and then like Lil Tecca's performance was terrible.
Yep. And then Playboy was supposed to be there until the minute he wasn't. And then they were like, oh, he's not here. Oh, he wasn't here. He just left? Like, what do you mean?
There's a bunch of like, I don't know. I guess the cool part of that was they were cool like exhibits, and like there was like that esports thing going on in the corner.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, they were playing Smash.
Bro,
like,
what happened to the whole esports wave? Like, I thought it was getting huge last year.
Well, I think because I follow like Smash, like Ultimate, with all like the fucking like pedophilia shit going on with them.
What?
Yeah, it's a whole other thing.
Oh my God.
There's a bunch of like big pillars of like the Smash community that were just like outed for, just being like pedophiles or like fuck with like underage kids and whatnot.
Oh my God.
And so that kind of, and like plus with Ultimate, it's like it's hard to play online like well, so like it kind of died. But I think like other esports are still going hard, like all the shooters and like Valorant, Overwatch.
I just heard about Valorant. I know nothing about it though. I haven't played. I know you've been playing a lot of
Apex, baby.
Apex Legends, which a lot of my boys play, but I've never tried.
Yeah.
Wyatt said he's been playing. Is there a new Halo?
I don't know. I only play Apex. That's the only like shooter I've played besides Fortnite.
Okay, heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only play COD and FIFA. But aside from that, what could you say you have gained from your experience at USC? Like, actually, yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now.
Well, I think first, it's like the thing I've realized recently is like knowing my own worth when it comes to like how I spend my time like with people and stuff like that. I think that when I first came here, I was just very starstruck, and like it was a culture shock, I guess, to be around so many motivated people. Because back home, it's like people are doing shit, but then like people aren't really doing shit. You know what I mean? That's just because it's just kids that haven't left their hometown type shit. But yeah, it's just like knowing what I'm capable of, and like, through all my internships and shit like that, I've like known that, okay, I can do this, this, and this. And I guess like, Cup of Choi is kind of like the culmination of like the things I can do and I have learned. I think also I've learned how to just like navigate, I don't know, like social circles better. Because like back home, I was a very friendly guy, and I thought, I was very like idealistic, like, I can like learn about everybody and I can just like connect with everybody, like, whatever. But then some people I've met like aren't like that. And I've just had to like come to terms with, it's a pretty unfriendly industry when it comes to like, people actually trying to work and shit. So yeah, like knowing how to like speak to people and like, when you're spoken to, especially when it comes to like talking to your bosses and whatnot.
Bro, definitely. I thought you were even talking about in terms of your peers. Like I find that fakeness that people talk about in LA, it's not super like in your face. It's really something that you recognize like in hindsight or in retrospect.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
when I have conversations, and like I have conversations with people, and I'm like, oh, like that was a really great conversation, and then like a week goes by, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't like, and I do think that is something that I was able to learn at USC. But on a lighter note of the community there, like I was able to meet people at USC. Like that was more. I was gonna start like giving you one or two as an option when I asked the question, but I decided to just see what you wanted to say. But I think like most people, they lean towards like the community that they got there or like the knowledge that they got there.
Yeah.
But most people go for like the community.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
just I've been so fucking inspired by like everybody, and like that really just pushes you to like go harder at whatever it may be. And just like learning how people got to where they are, because everyone starts somewhere, like at different levels. Like some kids come in here like knowing shit about the industry for like the past like 2 or 3 years. Then some people like maybe like you or me who had a very like base knowledge, but then like we're exposed to like all this other shit, so
totally.
And definitely the people are amazing.
Dude, the people, but also what you like to build on what you were saying, like learning about all the different possibilities. When so similar to you, like I was not taking a academic route towards music at all. I was doing like engineering. And then when I finally did switch over to music, it was like literally my first year of college, and they gave me all this like basis of knowledge. And I was like, cool, sounds like I could be like an artist manager or a producer or like an artist, and I was like, that seems to be all. And then when I got to USC, I was like, oh my God, there's like a bajillion different careers. Yeah. Sync, I didn't even ever like hear about sync until I moved to LA and stuff like that. Like it was just unbelievable the amount of avenues to take that I learned when I got out here, and being exposed to them all and the people who are in them. That was another thing at USC that I found was crazy, is like our teacher was a PR manager, and our teacher did like promote festivals, and our teacher does put music in sync. Like our teacher was an actual music lawyer, the fucking Goldstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I found that really interesting, and I bring it up because you are like extremely multifaceted. I feel like something that's important to you and to myself is like getting a hand in different things, like learning different things, like just being. I'm trying to think of like having a broad sense of knowledge. Is there anything of yours that's most important to you right now? Any skill or hobby?
I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like Childish Gambino is the fucking blueprint for like how I want to live my life. He just can do everything. You know what I mean? I don't want to limit myself to like a single thing either. Like even beyond music, I want to like be able to like like build brands like Cup of Joy, or like I don't know, do creative direction for like videos. So I'm just kind of like using Cup of Joy as like a testing ground for all the things I can do. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah, I want to deep dive into Cup of Troy.
Yeah, but
So tell me, who came up with the idea for Cup of Troy, and what is Cup of Troy for anybody who doesn't already know?
I think it was me that came up with the idea, and then the other boys just like kind of helped me.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I remember when you were over here and you were like, I'm thinking about getting an espresso machine. And Wyatt and I were like, oh, cool. Like to make coffee at the crib. You were like, nah, maybe like $1,000 espresso machine. And I was like, why? And then you were telling us this idea you had about making coffee. I didn't know you had used to, like, you worked at Starbucks or something, right?
I worked at Pete's. Fuck
Pete's.
Starbucks.
Fuck Starbucks. Sorry. Dude, I should be exiled. I can't believe I said that. No, but like, I know you had a thing for coffee. So then how did it come to life, and how did it begin?
Yeah. Well, I guess to backtrack a little bit, like working at Pete's was my first job in high school. And so it was super, super formative to me because like that was the first job that I felt very like skilled in. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was just really, really good at just making coffee, and then also like talking to all these people. Like we had such a tight community at that store, like between like employees plus like all the regulars. So that was like very important to me in terms of just like my life. But yeah, I guess with Cup of Troy, we bought this espresso machine because one of our boys was like addicted to Monster, and we're just like, bro, we got to get you off that shit. So let's buy this espresso machine. Like I know how to make coffee, and like, it can benefit everybody. And I guess like after I started making a couple drinks for like my friends and my housemates and stuff, like people were like, yo, I would like actually buy this shit. You know what I mean? And like that got me thinking like, yo, I could just maybe one weekend we could just sell coffee and see how many people turn up. And so me and Annie were just like bouncing names off each other. Then we said on a Cup of Troy, and then like one of our other housemates made the logo. Like this all happened within like a day.
Oh, really?
Pretty much, yeah. Just like between making the name and then making the logo, because like we got super high. We're just like trying to figure out shit. And yeah, one weekend we opened, and like more than 10 people turned up, and we're just like, damn, like this is this can be a thing.
Dollar signs.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really cool because it has now turned into like this massive recognizable brand amongst like the whole community. I think everybody that's around the campus at least is familiar with Cup of Troy, whether or not they've gotten a cup or not. Has the experience been beneficial?
Dude, yeah, it's been fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the turnout plus like all the support. And we have like so many. I think what's really cool about Cup of Troy is that so many different students follow it. Like not just like, you know, band kids, not just like the music kids, but just like all these different types of people. Like, and I see all of them too. So I'm just like, yo, like this person's from like this sorority, or like this person's like in this student org. And so, yeah, it's just really cool seeing everybody, I don't know, just like be united for like good coffee
and good conversation.
Yeah.
Bro, definitely. I can, we always talk about this sense of community on this podcast, bro. Like you gave me goosebumps talking about it, right? Like you're bringing like all these people who would never meet each other together, like in your lawn, just because they want to have coffee. You know what I mean? But the brand is evolving like every day. You've started to have musical guests, live shows, and something coming very soon. Do you want to spill some tea on?
Yeah, we got Gusby coming next week. It's gonna be lit. I guess what's also crazy, like the first time I saw that house, like the house we live at, like I imagined that there'd be some kind of music on that lawn. You know, like I could see like people like in here like chilling or like, you know, listening to music or whatever, and then it fucking happened. Like I just, it blew my mind that
you manifested your destiny, bro.
Everything's possible.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I meant on the content aspect. Do you want to talk about the content?
Oh shit, yeah, my bad.
No, it's good.
Yeah, we started filming this like series called Coffee Chats with Cup of Troy. Name is still in works, but that's what we settled on.
I was just about to
And
say that's a dope name. I like it. I do.
yeah, I just want to also turn Cup of Choi into like a way for people to discover like local artists. I think there's like a lot of these types of like music promotion things, but like I think having a cup of coffee with somebody is like a very intimate way to like get to know them, whether that's like a date, an interview, or whatnot. So yeah, we have one coming up with Clarence the Kid, and it's gonna be fucking dope when you see it.
True.
And then we have, yeah, I have another artist lined up right now to shoot. And yeah, I just want to just see like how many, like if other people are down. Like I hope they'd be down.
I think they will be down.
Yeah.
Bro, it's such a cool concept. I can't agree more. Like I like how you use the word like intimate or whatever, because it's true. Like you get together with this person and you have to like teach them how to make coffee, which is already like they have to open themselves up to learning, which is intimate.
Yeah.
And then y'all are just like sipping on coffee. Cameras are going, but it's a beautiful day. You guys have that nice lawn with the big ass tree. Like, bro, it's a spot to get comfortable at. We were just talking before we sat here, like the value in having my guests sitting on this couch, like just getting people comfortable. They open up more. And Mike makes some really cool content. I'm thrilled for the start of that. I can't wait.
I guess when I see like other promotional things, whether that's promoting for artists or like that kind of content, it's like I just wish I want to like do it better, just to like to keep it like simple or like keep it blunt. Like I think I could do it better in terms of like getting to know an artist. And it's weird like for me being on camera too, because I'm like pretty uncomfortable with that. Like I hate listening to my voice in the recordings or whatever. But yeah, I think it's a really cool way to get to know an artist better than just like a 15-second audio / like picture of them.
Yeah, bro. And I don't even think that's a far-fetched concept because like, or a far-fetched thing for you to think that you could do it better, because you, as we've been discussing, you have all this like background of working with so many different types of artists and stuff like that. And also building out brands. It'll just have like, it's the perfect storm waiting to happen, in my opinion. I'm really excited. And you're keeping your team pretty small over there, which is good, I think. Like, there's only like 4 of you, 5 of you working on the projects.
Honestly, it's really like on the days of all the guys help out, which I love them and I appreciate them. Shout out the drumline. But I think it's really just me like fucking hashing out the brand plus all the content, like all the social media stuff. It's kind of stressful.
I believe that.
Lucky. But yeah, like me and Mitchell, I guess Mitchell's on the board now. Shout out Mitchell, executive producer.
For for the show? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah.
We love the gang, so.
I think I will need help pretty soon as like we scale up and up. But yeah, for now the team's pretty small.
Have you learned a lot about time management?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm still pretty bad at it too.
Me too. Who's not? This is America.
Yeah. But between like inventory plus like social media plus like working, trying to book guests plus like, I don't know, like all this stuff. It's been a whirlwind, especially trying to balance it with school and like other work. It's pretty crazy. It gets pretty crazy.
The value in like taking a break and getting away increases ever so more. We were just talking about how we're going to an Airbnb in like a month. Have you started to find yourself like itching to get out of the city more or anything like that? I feel like we've been stuck here for a while grinding.
I definitely think so. Like Big Bear was like this past summer was really amazing just to like not be in LA for a little bit. And I definitely have been wanting to get out more. I mean, like sometimes I get to go out, with my girlfriend to, get something to eat or whatever, but definitely like seeing some green and like just breathing fresh air. I do really value that.
Bro, to re-loop on a conversation we had earlier, the thing that I got most out of USC will undoubtedly forever be like the amazing friendships that I have created there. Like I can honestly say that my favorite parts of being on the West Coast entirely, like out of being here this entire time, have been like going on those trips with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, getting out of the city, like not even being in LA, it's like the place that I live in, like going to the places around. Big Bear was just so amazing. Like we have nature over in Delaware and really beautiful nature at that, but it's like nothing compared to being in these like mountain lake towns, like, and these gigantic sequoia trees and stuff like that. I think I will never forget that moment on the rock at Big Bear.
They were playing like Frank Ocean and like Bonnie Vare.
Bro, we were playing like the most thematic music for this moment in life. And we were all just like sitting on this rock silently, except for Mitchell, because that dude can't shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. But we were all just like chilling on this rock, like just looking out over this beautiful lake. It was amazing.
This moment we are infinite.
Dude, we were infinite. I plan on taking my kids back to that rock.
Oh,
What
God.
was your favorite part from that trip? Do you have a moment?
Yeah, honestly, that rock was just amazing. Just like chilling there, like having it be silent, just like completely silent, like no helicopters, no cop cars, no fire trucks. Shout out South Central though. But yeah, just fucking some peace and quiet, man.
Bro, for real.
It's like a mental reset too.
Yeah, I'm really excited for us to go out next month because it'll hopefully be the same kind of experience. I'm excited for you to meet some of my boys,
Hell yeah.
some East Coast guys. Yeah,
I'm down. I'm with it.
yeah, you're with it. You with it. We out here. We rep the gang. What else is new in your life? Is there anything that we haven't like brought up? I'm trying to think. I'd love for you to tell me like an interesting story about a cool moment in your life.
A cool moment in my life.
Yeah, I know that's so super open ended, but I'm trying to think of like a way to narrow
Well,
it down.
I guess I think one of the greatest like moments in my life was it was my senior year, and we were at the national like just like the national championships for indoor percussion in Dayton, Ohio, and I had applied for this like scholarship like a couple months before that, but I had completely forgot, and so we were at the award ceremony like in this big ass stadium in Dayton Stadium, and like I won the award, and so they like
Wait, what award?
it was just like a scholarship pretty
Okay.
much. And so what was really funny about that was I was like high at the time because I had smuggled weed to Ohio and like a deodorant stick.
Classic.
Yeah, and I was so fucking high, right? And like they called my name and like I was like being pushed forward. There's like a big ass spotlight. They gave me this like $2,000 check, like in for the whole
On
stadium.
the big one, like big
Yeah,
check. Nice.
yeah. And it was just like a crazy moment because like one to be recognized like on that level, and two it felt like the culmination of like all of my hard work going into like band and like percussion and like up to that moment. So it was pretty special, and I had to carry that check home on a plane. It was pretty baller.
Do you have any moments in the near future that you hope to equate to that sensation of like culminating like hard work reaching something?
I guess it's weird. I don't know like what could really equate to that because like I was in high school and it was just like crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I guess like in our early 20s like we can't really see like I don't want to set my goal on something because after I get it, it's like I don't know like what I'm gonna want after.
Yeah, the what next?
I saw this like I saw someone say I think on Twitter or some shit. It just like sometimes like I forget like that this moment is what I was hoping for like a couple years ago or in the past. Like I'm like worrying about other shit, but like I am where I wanted to be like last year or like 2 years ago. So
That's exactly the moment I'm referring to, right? Like,
yeah.
because that's what it sounded like you were describing to me. Like you're up on stage and you're realizing like, oh my God, all of this shit actually like added up to something,
Yeah.
And it made like the thing I immediately thought of was like, well, one, I thought like those kinds of moments in life are rare where like your hard work pays off. That's like a real moment of satisfaction that
Yeah.
some people don't experience very often, myself included. I think most people don't, like hard work paying off, like real hard work, like years of putting in time is rare. And I was thinking about like, I felt that moment when I finished my last online class of USC. It didn't feel like as exhilarating as maybe if I was in person, but I was like in my room and I was like, holy shit, like I might never take a college class ever again. And it was just like this amazing feeling of like, oh my God, like, remember when you're like 11 years old and you're like, Mom, I cannot finish this project. Like I need support. Come support me. And like
And you
it
graduate
all,
college.
yeah, it all fucking led up to this insane moment.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking like, do I have anything I'm looking forward to where I'll have like all this hard work leading up to something? And I honestly don't have anything in mind either. So I wasn't surprised to hear you say that there's no one thing.
Yeah. And I think especially now more so than ever, it's like I'm just trying to enjoy the process and like the moment, because the only thing that exists is like the present, right? Not to get like fucking philosophical, but
Please do.
I think that's really important to keep in mind, because usually our mind lives like in the past, or like we're set on like like either I don't know, thinking about mistakes we did in the past or like the worries you have about the future, but like that shit doesn't exist. Like only now exists, right? So I think like all the stuff that we're doing now, whether that's like grinding, like working, it's all going to pay off as we like continue to like learn more and progress in our careers. So I'm not I'm like looking forward to anything. I'm just like enjoying what I'm doing right now, and like hopefully it's building towards something where I can keep, I don't know, building, I guess.
Bro, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
No, that is perfectly said.
But I guess something I do look forward to is like I am helping my one friend Dima. Like I'm like kind of managing her, like getting her like all her songs together and like getting the mix and shit. But I'm very excited for her to drop her music because she's super fucking dope.
That'll be so amazing.
Yeah.
And I've heard some music from Dima. I don't think I've met Dima.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
She's trying to come out here. I want to play her this song maybe after we're done because the shit she's been making recently is so fucking fire.
Dude, I'll play it in the show if you want. If like, because we need an intro outro song.
Yeah,
I would love to if you send it to me.
Down.
I love the way you represent your gang too, man.
Yeah.
It inspires me to do the same. Like sometimes I've been working with Kevin so much, and it didn't really dawn on me like the opportunities I could be providing to other people until like one day he was like, "Oh, we need someone to do something," and I was like, "Oh shit, like I get to pick," you know?
Yeah.
And it started to like. I was like, I came home a couple of days later and I was like, yo, Wyatt, I think I'm gonna just mention to Kevin, like, if anybody needs any software, I'll let him know. And then my dad was like, hey, if he wants a sponsor on the show, like, tell him my business will sponsor the show. Like, it's all about bringing people in life together, man, to succeed. To like, yeah, man.
I think, yeah, it's definitely the greatest human act to like inspire.
Yeah.
Right? Whether that's like, I don't know, pushing someone to do something or like, yeah, just inspiring people. I think that's fucking dope.
And to encourage, you know?
Yeah.
I'm so guilty all the time of like setting the bar too high for my friends and then like getting like aggressively like pressuring. Like, you guys need to be doing more. You need to be doing more.
That's good though. People need friends like that.
You know, it's good, but like what if somebody's bar isn't as high as yours? You know? And that's something like I think about a lot. Like some of my friends, my really good friends, like don't have like I have unbelievably high goals, and I'm aware of that. I'm notorious for setting the bar too high on myself, and then like I'm a believer in that one where it's like, what, shoot for the stars, if you land on the moon, aim for the moon or whatever. No, whatever it is. No, if you fucking like aim for the moon, if you land on the stars, that's like an accomplishment too, or whatever. Exactly. Whatever that is, like I'm into that. But some of my friends, it's just like they're comfortable setting the bar a little lower, and sometimes it's kind of rude, I feel like, to like show up and be like, no, you need
offensive.
to be exactly, you know. So there is like a balance there, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's really important to surround yourself with people that like are a little bit higher level than you, not to like ride coattails or anything, but just like trying to be with people that like help push you to like do more, instead of just like hanging around people that are okay with mediocrity.
I feel the exact same way, bro. Like I couldn't agree more, actually. I was talking about that with Ronnie Quest as well earlier. It's just like half the battle, or not half, but a huge part of the battle in life is like getting comfortable with yourself and knowing what's important to you and then pushing yourself. But then besides that, you need to have a support system. Like no one makes it through this world completely by themselves, and it's important.
You know what's really funny? So I listened to Damn by Kendrick again like recently, and like he was like, you know, like, who the fuck praying for me? And I feel like that line like hits so much harder now than it did like when I listened to it a couple of years ago. Mostly because it's like, sometimes when you're trying really hard to achieve the things you want, it's like pretty lonely, because like whether that's you don't reach out to people because you feel like you don't want to, or like you're not getting the support that you expect from other people. But like I've definitely felt that like the past couple months where like I'm doing like all this shit, but then like it's hard to tell people I'm doing all this shit because I don't want to just like fucking humble brag or whatever, or reaching out to people say like, oh, I'm so busy with all this stuff, like can I talk to you? Like I'm not really like that. But yeah, dude, just like sometimes the road to fucking success is lonely, whatever that may be.
Dude, it's true. Well, right now is grind time, you know, like yeah, like I can never be upset at any of my friends right now, and I've been saying this a lot more over the past few weeks. If what they're doing is like focusing on hustling, like even if it's letting me down, I'll never ever be like, oh, fuck you. Like I'll be like, you know what, bro, I totally get it. Like right now we're in our early 20s. It's the time to like put your head down and grind and make that money. But like when I'm 40 and I want you to come hang out, you better come hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just such a hard balance, because like, yes, we're all grinding, but then like we're only this young, like once in our life.
Yeah.
So it's just like trying to find time to like breathe.
That's
and like
true.
Sometimes it's like there's always the mentality of like, oh, like work harder, but like how about fucking chill harder? Like when you have the time, you know what I mean?
Chill harder.
Like, dude,
like
you
how?
gotta chill harder.
Like, should we all do Xans? Like
Not even that, just like
Just like,
like consciously doing nothing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It was
shutting your
like,
mind off.
yeah, consciously just like relaxing when you need to. Not like even procrastinating, because procrastinating implies that you're putting off something.
Mm.
Like actually taking time to like do something. Like yesterday, I took a super long walk to like Ralph's. Then like I forgot something, so I went back to Ralph's. So, but I just walked because I was just like, damn, I haven't like felt the sunshine like this in a while. So I'm just gonna walk.
Bro, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wyatt was just he was just venting last night. He was like, bro, it's just like I wake up every morning and I just like sit at the computer for hours and hours, you know? And it's
Yeah.
true. And I've had the same experience now editing for Kevin. It's mind numbing, and you're doing the same thing. I mean, you got to do all this stuff for Cup of Troy. School is online now.
Yeah.
Like, and all the brand building everything's online now.
I guess something I didn't mention to you that I'm doing right now is like I was working on a couple of projects for my old boss, Clarissa, and she works at this, I think I was telling you before too. She works at this company called Radio with the E. It's like Issa Rae's company, like music sync
This
company.
sounds vaguely familiar. Tell me more.
Yeah, so she's working at Radio, and it's like the sync company slash they just like put music into shows, or like her main show Insecure and whatnot. And then I was just helping her build like pitch decks to like different like companies like Shure, SoundCloud, Spotify. So I was just like working on pitch decks, like helping build out those brand partnerships pretty much. And it was, like that was pretty stressful because
That sounds lit.
yeah, they wanted like the turnaround like the next day type shit. I was like, fuck. And then I was just putting off like schoolwork because I wanted to like impress my boss and like other shit. And hopefully it turns into a job later, but that was a pretty cool experience as well.
Dude, definitely. Those are the risk reward moments, though, you know, and hopefully it
Yeah.
pays off. That sounds cool, though. Bro, I've become obsessed with brands, like just the concept of brand. People who know me know that I'm constantly using this term like, oh, that's off brand or that's on brand. Like, I think it has to do with hanging out with Kevin so much, definitely.
Yeah.
But, bro, the value in like an established brand is unbelievable, bro. Kevin, based on his value of building out the Warped Tour and the X Games and stuff like that, is now 30 years later getting hit up by NASCAR and the MLB to like help them with their brands because they're falling off, because who watches NASCAR and baseball anymore? Nobody. So yeah, just like it just goes to show like hard work is important and branding is really fucking important. So I love to hear all like the branding work that you're doing. I don't know a lot of people doing like branding stuff like that right now.
Yeah.
You got to help flesh out why it's hentai plugin brand.
Yeah. I think what's also super cool about brands and stuff is like typography can communicate the brand. Like that's why I'm paying Gabby to work on the Cup of Troy one, because I want something unique to Cup of Troy that also like can speak on our brand. Because like there's also this video on Twitter that I saw about John Mayer talking about how he can recognize like when a font is like free or when a font is paid for. And he's like,
What?
yeah, it's pretty crazy. He's like, yeah, like if a font's like, I can just tell when it's from defont.com, and if it's like on your album cover, like that doesn't make it anymore. You know, like I don't fuck with that anymore. Like you have to
You
buy
got to
the
get a
brand.
custom font. Yeah.
You got to get like the kerning specifically and like all that shit. The
Bro,
space
that is
between the letters.
insane.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely true. I mean, if there's a billion people on the planet who can make art, like why are you not utilizing them and coming up with something original? There's no reason to be biting off fonts specifically.
Yeah.
Wait, bro, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And you, oh shit, what we talking
It can communicate a lot. Yeah, when you think of like when I was looking at like all the assets for radio, for example, it's like there's a very specific like kind of feel that they want to go for, and it's just like it's cool like trying to like put shit together in Canva to like communicate that this is the brand, like this is how we're gonna work together type shit. So it's all I learned a lot just from making those like 5 or 6 decks.
Dude, I believe it.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can expect to come? Actually, we already know what's expecting from Shawn Tran. We're going to get that really cool Cup of Troy content. What is it? Tell me the name of it you guys came up with before.
Coffee Chats.
Yeah. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Wait, and also tell everybody how did you get a brand deal with Yerba Mate?
Yeah, so my roommate actually, Nate, or his name's Thicky to us. He,
My roommate Nate, his name is Thicky.
Thicky, I don't even want to get into how to name people, but yeah, he hit up Yerba Mate and he's like, yo, this is like what we're doing. We're part of the band. Plus, like we have this reach over all these students. like, can we get a brand deal? And then, yeah, we get fucking free yerbas every weekend.
Dude, it's so lit.
We had 8 cases this past weekend, and like all the extra yerbas just like go to us, so it's pretty lit.
It just goes to show cold emails are so valuable now, bro. People really respond. Someone was talking about cold DMs recently. They were like, oh, my response rate to cold DMs is like over 70%. I'm like, what? You just like reach out to people with cold DMs and they get back? Yeah, every time. Yeah, don't be hesitant to just reach out to people. That's how you get jobs now.
Yeah, I haven't gone on the LinkedIn grind yet, but I'm sure after I get out of school, that's gonna be very, very real. But I'm just trying to leverage all the connections I have, so I don't have to like beg people in the LinkedIn DMs like, please give me jobs.
Bro, I totally feel, bro. My this dude Tony was like, you really got to go fix up your LinkedIn, man. I was like, who uses LinkedIn? And he's like, well, maybe not 20-year-olds like you, but 40-year-olds who have money and jobs to give you do. And I was like, I guess
the professional network.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I guess so.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm friends with Kevin Lyman, so. I was like
you're set.
Just kidding, not kidding. Okay. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap up the show, or any jokes?
No, shout out you helping inspire me. The coffee chat thing definitely inspired by the podcast, obviously.
Stop.
I don't want to bite your swag, so that's why I'm trying to put my own spin on it.
Not mine to bite, but I definitely want to come at least see some episodes or do whatever. I don't need to help, but I want to see. It's so lit.
Yeah, shout out the 27 Joint 2. They're doing their thing. I gotta say it.
Brit just had an interview with Kevin.
Oh, that's lit.
For a major publication or something. I can't remember.
She interviewed him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what for. But she was like, she hit me up. She was like, it was for Judaism. She was like, did you know Kevin's Jewish? I was like, no.
Isn't today Passover?
Huh?
I think today's Passover.
Oh, yeah, today is Passover. I forgot.
Passover these nuts.
Wow, got him. Thanks for even uttering the words that I inspire you. You inspire me. Everybody that I've met out here has been a huge influence on everything that I do.
Yeah.
You guys are really cool people, and I'm glad to have everybody in my life, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to still work on the photography shit too.
Yeah, the camera.
I
fucking was gonna be like, yo, Shawn, bring your camera over. Would it have functioned better than my iPhone?
I mean, I have a film camera, so I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into that film stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help Lewis with his shoot on Tuesday. It's upcoming Tuesday. So I like being there to help out, plus take some dope shots.
Dude, of course. That shit. They go to the prettiest places. Mm-hmm. Do you ride up with Sarah or something?
Yeah.
She's got a car now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I should ask to come to one day.
I mean, he uses your mic, right?
Yeah. He hasn't asked for it now, so he's not using it on Tuesday. Unless I'm going to get a call on Monday.
You probably will.
That's fine. Obviously, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, dude. I said it earlier, but I am so thankful for this group of friends that we have. Shout out Beata, Sarah, Mitchell, Candy. Candy's really in the gang. Candy came through with the PC, bro. She's like, here, take my whole PC. That's fucking crazy, bro.
I haven't talked to Candy in a while.
Me neither at all. I should hit her up and say, hey. Do you think Candy would be good on the podcast?
I think so.
I think so too. She talks sometimes. She can be kind of quiet sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love the gang. Cool, bro. Well, thanks for coming on.
Gang.
It's been great. I hope this was a good conversation for you. It was good for me. Thanks for being intimate about your life and everything. Telling everybody the intimate details about the guy you fucked and all that. All right. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I love you. We'll play some song by Dima at the end.
Hell yeah.
Is that cool? Yeah, sweet. We'll play a song by Dima at the end. And I appreciate you making it this far. Have more stuff coming next week. Bye.
Peace.
I just wanna vibe with you, I really like you. Yeah, you break my heart in two, wanted to fight you. Coming back the second time, I like your high. Offer you another night, when you treat me right. Don't call me alive, looking my perspective. You be on your high horse, sitting on a real bitch, go off observation. Ain't no conversation, you won't even listen when I try to say something. But I wanna go inside, dreaming way too long. Doing what I want, eating prosciutto and cheese, and I put it women on the occasion. Don't get mad at me, 22, nobody really fucking like you. Nobody like you, nobody like you. Nobody like you. You gotta see from a point of view from my shoes. Nobody ever gonna love you when you're 22. But 23, you're gonna think everyone hates you. But I gotta let you know that you're everything and more. That you bake me. Well, baby, I guess just how it goes when you hate me. Oh, you can love me whenever you want. I can't take it. Wanna see you naked. Wanna see you every night. Awesome every day thing. I really like you. I think that you knew. I think about you when I'm all alone in my room. You're 22, nobody really fucking like you. Nobody like you. Nobody like you.